the Craftsman. So if you've been following the channel for a little bit, you've seen this before. I've done a little work. I mean, it's not like one of the major builds on the channel or anything like that, but I did tinker with it. I put some poor man's power steering in, and then I did some sponsored videos or whatever. But then after that, really, all of the stuff's kind of been off camera. Like you can see a lot of stuff, like I replaced all of the handles. I got a seat cover on it. Did the front wheels. I can't remember if I think I did do those in a video. But then I got custom badges for it. I like those. Thought those were pretty cool. And that's just stuff I cut out at work. And then the elephant in the room, I guess, would be the visor. That's I'm not sure if I'm done with that or not. If I'm being absolutely honest with you guys, I kind of what I'd really like to do is I'd like to cut that and push this whole thing out and make it actually a square nose. I always preferred the square nose tractors, but there it is in all of its glory. I just use it to cut the grass, you know, nothing special. The one thing I was going to do today, real quick, it should be real quick because it's simple enough. As you can see, the standard issue grip tape that they put on these things is gone. It bubbled up and came off last year at some point, I believe it was. And so I just went to Walmart and picked up some what was it? This stuff, tread tape, anti-slip tread tape, and it should be easy enough. It's not really that wide, so I might have to sort of double it up, do like a racing stripe thing with it, but hopefully that'll be enough to do those. It should be. I don't need too much. So I'm going to slap that on real quick, and then I found something out in the backyard, and think what I'm going to try and do is make a little trailer, a little yard trailer to pull around behind this. So let me do the grip tape real quick, and we'll go from there. Well, I don't really know how I feel about it just yet. I mean, all it's really got to do is prevent my feet from slipping off of it. I didn't want to run a strip up the middle. I was like, we'll skip that. But then I got to looking at it, and I wanted to at the very least cover them holes, because there's a hole about right there, and then a hole about right there on each side. But whatever, we'll run it for now. I mean, the nature of the beast is that they're going to come off again. I mean, eventually they're going to start to bubble up and come off again. So I'll have another chance to redo them. Yeah. I guess now I can move on to the other thing. What you're looking at is the rear end for a tractor that I found buried in the backyard underneath a bunch of weeds and stuff. And I had the idea to build a little trailer out of it, but I need to get that rubber off there, and I don't really have any way to do it other than taking an angle grinder to it. And I've already kind of started. You can see it there. Got my muffs. I need to grab the angle grinder real quick. Now I will say real quick, I don't care about these rims at all, because I'm going to cut them up anyhow, so I'm not worried about nicking them or messing them up. They're already pretty messed up. Let me get something else. I honestly don't know if I'm going to be able to use this or not even. Just saw it release. Yeah. Holy cannoli. No creatures. Not really. Yeah. Just gonna do what I did on the other side. Get out of that. Alright. Well, of course the valve stem wants to be a pain, but that one's off. Do the other one real quick. Sweat a little bit more. Oh yeah. It is very crusty and old, which I knew it was going to be. So as stated earlier, I found it underneath some weeds. I for real thought it was like a chunk of wood or like a stump. And I fought the weeds back, got them under control, and found this thing sitting there. So I was like, you wanna know what? Let's see what I can do with it. If I do use it as the intended, you know, axle for a little yard trailer, my idea is, I mean, I need to get it all apart and get inside there, because if it's in gear, it needs to not be in gear. I will clean up some of the rim. Like, the idea is I'll cut it about right here and just completely take this side of it off, and then this side is what I'll be using, and I'll grind down this outer lip here so I can kind of have a flat mating surface. And then I have the old rims and tires off the Jeep. I have them out in the shed and they're still good. Shit, they still got air in them. So I figure what I'll do is I'll push that up against that flat surface that I'm going to create, and then run some really long bolts through there. It's just going to be a yard trailer to move junk around the yard and do whatever, you know, so it doesn't necessarily have to be anything too robust. Don't know how much more I'm going to do. It is almost lunchtime. I might tinker around with trying to get some of these rusty bolts out and see what I can get apart, and just kind of go from there. So it's however long later now, a couple hours. I hadn't really got much done, to be honest with you, because I kind of stood here and looked at it for a little bit, and then I started working on getting this case apart. And I mean, I should have figured already, but I'm gonna have to pickle it. I'm gonna have to just soak it down with some PB Blast and let it sit. I did get a little bracket off over here, cracked my knuckle doing it, so apparently the brake was on, because now that one spins pretty good. I don't need this kind of debating on whether or not I'm going to take this out, and maybe I'll just leave it where it is. It doesn't seem like it's going to hurt anything. This, I mean, I'm not going to have a use for it. Looks like it might have been some kind of drive shaft auxiliary thing or something. Who knows? I'm not going to use it, so it might come off. It might stay on just to keep everything, you know, as sealed as possible. Even though there's not going to be any kind of force or power put into this to spin the wheels, I'd still like to prevent stuff from getting into it and gumming that process up, because then the trailer wheels won't roll. So yeah, I think for today I'm gonna pull this to the back of the shop, out of the way, and just kind of spray everything down with some PB Blast. Let it soak overnight. See what she looks like in the morning. So it's the next morning, and I've already been hard at work, as you can tell. The rim got cut up for two reasons. One is because I couldn't get at some of these bolts on this housing here. I couldn't get at. I mean, they're all seized in and rounded off and everything else anyhow. I've been working them out slowly. Cutting that off helped quite a bit, because then I could get the impact in there. But then the second reason I cut this off is, I can't remember if I've said anything about it or not, but I'm going to use the outside of this as a hub, right? And so I don't need this inner lip at all. And if it's in the way and I don't need it, we're going to get rid of it. Because all this thing has to do is just support the trailer and have wheels so it can roll. I don't need brakes. I don't need gears. I don't need none of that stuff. There's still some cleanup on here. I still have quite a lip, but I didn't want to cut too far in and cut the actual rim in half, so I can just sand that down and clear all that mess out of there. Of course, I'm having some trouble getting the actual rim off of the axle. It's most likely seized and rusted on there. I'm gonna try and work it off though, because it would be nice to get them off completely so I could really clean them up and repaint them, and you know, sort of bring them back. But yeah, so I'm working on getting these bolts out. I need to now that I've got this out of the way, so I can get these top ones here. I got them loose, but I need to get this out of the way now, and because there's like 3 down here or so that I can't get at because this plate's in the way. So we're getting this loose, and then I'll just spin it out of the way, and then I can hopefully get this cover separated and see what's going on inside there. Like I said, I'd like to get these rims off there. I don't know. I haven't really quite decided what I'm spending my time with. I only got so much time today, anyhow, because I gotta go to sleep so I can go into work tonight. So I guess the progress that we've made so far today is I got both of them rims cut in half, and I still got some cleanup to do on them. You know, there's still a little bit of a lip there. That ain't nothing too bad. I can grind that down. I did get that loose. This one has been loose. From getting that one loose, I got all of the bolts for this case out, and you can see it's already starting to separate. I am going to pickle it a little bit more overnight. You know, just douse everything down with a little bit more PB Blast and loosen everything up and see where I can get. Like I said again, I really would like to get what's left of the rims off of there. That would make getting into this case a whole lot easier, number one, but then number two, I can go through and clean everything up, you know, get all the rust off of everything, as far as like the rims go and stuff like that, and it'll make painting everything and doing all that stuff way easier process than to just leave it where it's at. Shoot it all down with PB Blast again and see where we come out. So at this point, it's been quite a few days. I had some camera issues and some editing stuff, and just, you know, boring behind the scenes problems that a majority of folks don't care about. The development on this is that it has been pickling for quite a few days. I've randomly came out here with a puller tool and tried to get them off. They obviously didn't come off. So what's going to happen now, just to keep her moving, is I'm going to go and just get the angle grinder and, you know, zip one side, spin the rim, zip the other side, and hammer them off that way. That sucks because I wanted to use those, you know, just as they are. I kind of wanted to see if I couldn't bring them back at least to where I needed them, and, you know, repurpose them for my intent. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna keep it moving. I have plenty of other rims out in the shed that I can fabric cobble onto this. I'm not really losing anything. I'm gonna go through real quick on one, and if I can get that working, I'll bring you back to show you what's up. I got her off. It took some doing. I'm not gonna lie. That I had to pie the rim quite a few times just to even get my angle grinder back to where I could cut the two pieces in half there. But that stuff, this is a lot thicker than I thought it was going to be, man. By the way, in any case, then that started coming apart once the rim actually came off, so I had to throw a couple bolts back in there just so I wasn't dumping liquid all over the place. I guess what I'm going to do now, just real quick, I'll zip this other one off. I just wanted to kind of show you this ridiculousness here. That thing was on there, man. So yeah, cut that off, clean this up, and decide where we're going. It's gonna be hot today, real hot. So the work we've gotten done so far, now I had to sidetrack a little bit, and I figured I'd jump in here and tell y'all about it. Well, I had to get some different rims, stuff like that. Those other rims didn't really work out. So yeah, we'll turn the camera around here. There she is, leaking her guts out and all the other stuff. I had the old front rims off of the Craftsman have been deemed the rims that are going to be used, which I guess it kind of works out, because I can, not only did they have the same axle size, but they do have some grease fittings where I can still lube the inner workings of the whole thing and make sure everything works real good. So that's super cool. Now it's time to get in here. What in the... There you go. Now it's time to get in here, split this apart. I don't really need to have these axles roll. So I may just pull that apart just to clean everything. I have some rust converter that I got. The whole thing's getting hit with that. So I might have to get another can of that, because I don't know if one can's going to do it. I do have to do a little bit of house cleaning here. These little fasteners that holds this leg where it sits, I don't really know if that's what's supposed to be there or not. I may just replace the hardware. I could get what you call them, like an exhaust hanger, and sort of bend it out to where it fits through these holes and snug that down. So that'll have some new hardware. That'll be super cool. Gotta cut these in half, obviously, so I'll be cutting them just on the inside of the middle of the rim and rounding that off. I still haven't quite decided whether or not I'm going to use, because I have the old rims off the Jeep, but then I also have the old rims off of the nitro that I used to have. I haven't really decided on which ones of those I'm going to use yet, but I still yet have to even see how I'm going to, like, I don't know, because I don't know how big the bolt pattern's going to be for them. So I still have to check that and make sure it's going to work. But yeah, I mean, there it is. That's as far as I'm going to get for this video. But yeah, I want to thank everybody for watching as always. And kind of excited to see where this thing gets. You know, you never know how stuff's going to turn out until it gets so far. And at first I didn't even think them rims were going to work. And then, I mean, I thought I was stuck in the mud with the old rims trying to get them off the axle because they wound up not working. I had to cut them all to crazy pieces. That was wild. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.